Is that the Samaritans? I'll wait till we get a few more on. I'll give it 5 more minutes and then hopefully a few people will have the balls, which is more than our team didn't have tonight, to come on and join me. Otherwise, you're going to get bored of listening to me for 10 minutes. But yeah, I think we need to talk, man. Back in 5. Well, we'll get underway. We have our first, Chris. I'll just kind of give my thoughts first before I bring you in, mate. But I'm shell-shocked, to be honest with you. I really thought that, I know that unbeaten run wasn't all it was made up to be, but, I thought we were pretty lucky at Sunderland and, Swansea, we could have hung on. But to see that stadium tonight, just like that team, just bereft of confidence. This is against a Preston team that 3 games without a goal. And we made them look like Barcelona. Well, they're not even that good anymore, are they? But shocking, just the confidence. I mean, I don't know what's more laughable, really. Rambo giving out that, they give 17,500 at the end. That about sums it up. I don't know. I thought the light show were bad, but the team, Jesus Christ. And even Ellick, who's been our best player for a couple of months, I think he lost his man, didn't he, for that Alan Brown header, and then just went from bad to worse there. Even as keeper, who's done a good job, picks a great time, doesn't he, to balls up against Preston, so their fans were loving it, obviously being an ex-Blackpool guy, but what a mess. And then the injuries at the end, just, what more can you say? Just, I made a bad night even worse, but yeah, for the first time, I mean, I won't say backed Darren Moore, but I've understood, the troubles, the tough, job he's got, but I just didn't get half of that tonight. I didn't know what were going on. And I know, Chris, obviously you've done them vlogs and you've kind of nailed your colours to the mast, but it's the first time I've walked out of there thinking, I don't think he's our man. And I know a lot of people have felt that for some time, but, I just don't know what he was thinking today. Karoma, the left back, for me, nowhere near the cross, stopping the cross. And yeah, I thought we were getting back into it, to be honest with you, at 2-1. I thought we might have burgled a point, to be honest with you. And then you can't make it up, can you, Maxwell? He'll want that back, as they say. But what a mess. I thought the light show were poor. I know the club tried to do something different, but I think it just sums up our club at the moment. We're in deep shit, aren't we? And I think tomorrow night QPR are probably going to take us place, and we're going to be in the bottom 3. But wow, and to see Johnny Ogg, I mean, I stayed till the bitter end. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people didn't even come. And Ogg were clapping. He went around all the 4 corners. But I looked in his eyes and I'm thinking, I think he's like, well, we're all thinking we're in big shit. So enough of me. Chris, I'll bring you in, mate.
Yeah. I've been listening to every word and you sound so deflated, and I just don't see him as the right manager now. I just don't even, but he's just totally clueless. He does a lot of stupid things. His style, we fans just can't enjoy because it's just drab to watch. It's so negative and it's just so poor to watch. The first half was so appalling. We got what we deserved, to be down at 2-0. And second half,
there could have been 2 up, Chris, before we even started. That would have debate. I mean, I'm not sure if it was a penalty myself. I think it was Pearson, wasn't it, that collision? But on another day, as our old friend used to say, that could have been a penalty, and then they should have scored straight after. So the warning signs were there. But what pisses me off, Wheeler, kind of more when we saw it, I think, against Leeds, like there were warning signs. We were a debacle, and he didn't change it till half time. Exactly the same at Leeds, and I think that's what worries me. I get he's got not the greatest tools to work with, and injuries and what have you and stuff. But come on, man, we're getting absolutely taken apart there, and he just leaves it till half time. We could have maybe got something back first half, but. Wow, and I think it just summed it up, mate. Just sorry, because I'll bring it back in, but Karoma, I mean, I don't know where his head would at. Maybe he's thinking wing back, what the fuck's going on? But when he's got to give it, the same way Kazumu gave it to Bergzorg on Saturday. But that summed it up, mate. What a mess he made of that. And then the confidence, then he had another chance after, and his head's down, mate. I think that's what worries me, that any confidence that we've built up in these last 4 games is, to me, have just been absolutely shot to pieces. And I'm really, really worried. And coming into these 2 games, we're deflated a bit. Swansea, that late goal, but we didn't really deserve much more than a point. But you're thinking, here we go, 2 games here, and I thought we were great on Saturday, mate, but tonight, wow.
Well, second half got marginally better because in that second half we got more attacking impetus into us. We did press them more, but you've just got to look at it on the whole, really. And on the whole, it was a complete drab. It was a drab night, really. And when it went to 3-1, I was like many others. I headed for the exits, and I had enough. Even when we got one back, I still didn't get excited. I still wasn't wanting to become too convincing. We got what we deserved, and that was a defeat. And the relegation zone beckons for us. I think tomorrow night we will be below that dotted line, and you can't say we don't deserve it, because we will deserve. We will deserve it. The guy needs to be sacked. I don't even trust him wouldn't even trust him with better players in the January transfer window. I think he needs to go. We're all entitled to our views, but I think he should go personally.
Well, mate, I think there'll be many that'll agree with you. I mean, Ward, he were embarrassing, mate. Just seeing him for 5 minutes, he was just limping, absolutely knackered. That could have done so much more damage. I mean, it was a nice header, wasn't it, to be fair, from Wardy, but again, it should be pulled off earlier. It should have gone earlier, and then obviously Pearson gone down. But I mean, when you're subbing Tom Lees off at half time, Chris, I mean, that says it all, doesn't it? It's just like kind of uncharted waters, but it's. I mean, I know we're down to the bare bones, but it's just, you can't even. I mean, I put that thing out today on Twitter about how many times we've got into the opposition's box and stuff. And there's 4 games this year where we haven't even got in there double figures. I mean, it's just like, you can't. I'm really struggling to give him. I get the situation. We know January is going to be big for us as well, but. Honestly, mate, a part of me wonders if he's going to get there, to be honest, mate.
I personally wouldn't even give him to the January window. And the January window's still a few weeks off, and a lot more damage could be inflicted on us yet, because we're not just on the verge of dropping into the bottom 3, but we could even be cut adrift, I wouldn't personally give him the January window. I would not trust him with Nagel's cash. That's if he's going to spend any, of course, but we do need to. He needs to get that transfer key out and start spending. I just won't give him the window personally. I don't know how much longer he's going to last, but I think the club is so clueless. I just don't see him being sacked personally. I think we're sadly, unless I'm going to be proven wrong, but I think we're going to be stuck with his drab football and his drab interviews.
I think that's I find difficult. I don't like criticising people kind of sometimes for how they are as people, but it's a fact, mate. Darren Moore is a dour, brummy guy. He's not the most inspirational guy. And part of you wonders, when the guys get back in on probably Thursday now, it's like he's got to get these people up. I mean, don't get me wrong. I came on, I remember Radio Leeds after Swansea, and the players are playing for him. Up till then, I've no doubt about that. And even, we weren't great on Saturday, but tonight was the first time to me, mate, where I've thought, are they really playing for him? Everyone looked a bit confused. And at the end, mate, it was incredible. I'd Sober Thomas were like down on, obviously you've gone, Chris, but he would almost like we'd lost an FA Cup final in penalties or something like that. He were absolutely devastated. And the psychological damage tonight's done for me is absolutely huge. I think those that were there were just diehards tonight, and, 15,000. 17,000. How many were there?
I saw so many empty seats, you could see around the whole stands, so many empty seats, and that light show was, I think it was a pathetic attempt. I think I've seen better light shows at other clubs. Our attempt at our light show just didn't live up to what...
Mate, it summed up the night, didn't it? It were almost like 2 bulbs were going on and off. It were like someone were just pressing a switch under the stand and that as well. But it's...
I think it would have been better to been at a professional disco, because the lights on the dance floor would have been better than those stadium lights tonight.
What about Osterfield, Chris? Pulled after 45 minutes, mate. He just didn't look up to the task, to be honest, man.
He is a young lad, you know, and he's going through like the rest of us, such negative times, you know, at a young age, you know. And I've got to go down to London on Saturday, but I'm such a diehard. I'm still there through thick and thin, but I must be mental in the head at the same time to be going to watch Dross.
Yeah, mate, you can never knock your loyalty, and I'm probably no doubt I'll be there at Norwich week after as well. Anyone will come out with any positives tonight, Chris, apart from anyone who turned up in the stands? Any players?
I just want to like I've said already, but I just want to point out that it's just little positives. We came out second half, showed more attacking impetus and press. That's what you can.
Yeah,
you can look what happens when you press and attack more. But I don't want to make that sound too positive. There are only little positives in my view, because I look at it on the whole. On the whole, it was a drab shit night.
Yeah, no, mate, it's so disappointing, isn't it? I think, just so disappointing. But no, mate, thanks very much for coming on, Chris. Cheers, mate.
Bye now, and bye to everybody else.
Bye. Cheers. Tom. Anyone else want to come on? Let's have a look. We've got one request here. We've got Pause there. Take your mute off, mate, hopefully.
Cozzy, can you hear me?
Oh, is that Tom? Is it?
Yeah,
Hiya, Tom.
Is he all right, mate?
And Pause. Yeah, we've got Pause here. Pause were here till the end because I was spying on him, taking pictures of Pause. It sounds a bit annoying, but he was there at the end.
Mate, I don't know why. There were not many other people there with me, was there, right at the end when that final whistle went. I think that's probably the emptiest I've seen the stadium during a match at any point since it's been open. There's been some grim times, but tonight was probably one of the grimmest that I've seen for a long time. For those that follow me on Twitter, I did try to put a tweet out midweek, kind of understanding why Moore plays the kind of the football that he does. But tonight that were even worse than what we've been expected. That's what we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks. I didn't go on Saturday, so I can't comment, but from what I was reading on Saturday, this was a disaster waiting to happen. It could have happened on Saturday, and unfortunately it did happen tonight. We're just poor, aren't we? I mean, we're just poor all over. By that 15 minutes just after half time, where we did kind of get at them, there was just nothing. It was awful. I think it summed it up most to me, and I've mentioned it many a times when we've done kind of podcasts and stuff like that. But you know, we need 2 goals, and there's 10, 15 minutes to go, and we're still just passing it around at back with no real. It goes left, it goes right, it comes back into the middle. There's nothing on because there's no movement in front of anybody. Defenders get ball and you can see them looking up and they're maybe wanting to play forward, but there's nothing. There's players just stood still. For me at that point, you just sack it off. Just sack it off. Put a centre back up front and just knock it long.
What did you think of the? Sorry, stopping mid-flow. What did you think of the lineup when you saw it, and then the kind of the early positioning and stuff? Obviously, strange seeing Karoma playing so so difficult.
It's a bit of a baffling one, isn't it? It's probably one of his most effective forwards. Yet we're asking him to play as a left wing back. I was just tuned in just as you were talking to Chris there, and he talked about his attitude. And if I'm Karoma, I'm probably thinking, why on earth is this guy asking me to play as a left wing back? I'm one of the better forward players that we've got. We've not got many forwards, have we? Let's be honest. And he's asking me to do a job and almost be a defender for most of the match. So no wonder he's not in right headspace. Yeah, he should have done better with those chances that he had. But I can fully understand if he is annoyed. Why? Because it's just another strange decision. I don't really know where to go with it, to be honest, mate.
For me, the biggest thing for me, this is a team. Sorry, mate, to go coming again, but we're 4 games unbeaten. All right, 1 winning 4, whatever, but 4 games unbeaten. So supposedly building confidence and in the right direction. Preston, mate, no goals in 3. Come with us, these 2 home games. You're thinking this is it, chance to get it and. How psychologically damaging is that going to be tonight, mate? Forget even talking about the injuries. That Ward playing on for 5 minutes when he was absolutely knackered. It was embarrassing, mate. With that again, Pearson went down. It couldn't have gone more wrong, could it?
No, mate. I mean, obviously, before, like you say, the 4 games, is it 4 games or without defeat? You normally look at that stat and think, you know what, that's really positive. But three draws and a win, and performances that have been poor in all of them, shall we say? For large parts, it wasn't exactly an inspiring kind of period of football. Or if we'd have won 3 out of the 4, and you say, oh yeah, we're 4 unbeaten and stuff like that. But if you ask any fan, no one were kind of really happy with that kind of form anyway, just because of the performances. And Preston, I'm presuming their manager said, look, get out there and get at them, because if we get an early goal, the fans will change. And they
should have been 2 up, Paul. They should have had a penalty. They probably should have had a penalty. They nearly scored straight away. I remember you messaged us and were like, this should be like 3 up, and this for about 5 minutes. But why do we never read any wake-up calls, Paul? This always fucking happens with us, mate. It's like you're thinking, do something, change something. And don't you think it was very Leeds-esque, mate, that, again, more waited till half-time to do something? And then I get the options are desperate. But, again, mate, we were going nowhere, do something. And half-time, bringing everyone on, changing stuff. And it's just like the horse has bolted, mate.
Yeah, it was obviously too late, wasn't it? I mean, we did get back into it, didn't we? We got that, great crossing from, I think it might have Pearson, wasn't it? And a decent header from Ward. And to be honest, I'd forgotten Ward were even playing. I can't even remember him touching ball in first half. But, credit to him, good header. And then, we concede 3rd, and I think after that, everybody that were there knew we'd already made us 5 subs by then. We'd had a couple of injuries, and it were just a case of just playing game out on it and seeing what would happen. But the thing that annoyed me, like I say, is even with 10, 15 to go, we didn't even sort of try to create, we didn't try out different. It was just the same, slow, steady passing across the back, nothing in front of us to play forward to. And there's absolutely nothing to inspire you wanting to go back, really, after that. That's the saddest thing for me.
It summed it up, mate, didn't that? 17,000, it was about as laughable as the performance, the light show. The club's just a joke at the moment, mate. And I get, we get where Kevin Nagel is and Cartwright and what have you came in when they did, but it's a joke, mate. And there's people around us just thinking, hang on a minute, guys, you've sacked Neil Warnock, you've pulled the plug on Neil Warnock for this, and then they built obviously more up to this football, the great exciting football and stuff, which any Sheffield Wednesday fan you ever speak to says that has never happened, never will happen, because I'm kind of thinking, okay, mate, you haven't got the players in January, forget it, they say to me, forget in January it brings in, because it won't happen, mate. And it just looks week by week, game by game, that it just looks a shocking decision, mate. And where do you stand on Mora? I mean, you're sympathetic with him. You've been saying how bad as midfield's been, but it just don't feel like it's working out. Pos to me, I just
how
long's he got?
Well, there's 2 ways to look at it, and I always think, when you see empty seats in a stadium, that's got to ring alarm bells first and foremost. If people aren't coming down to watch, that's a sign in itself that whatever's happening on the pitch is no good. So whether you're picking up odd points here and there, football is changed, it's evolved, it's now an entertainment business. People are entertained. You can come down and you can win. And you can play like that, and at least you go home saying, well, it wasn't right and great, but do you know what? I'm buzzing because we've won. Whereas you don't even get in that moment, So there's that way to look at it as well. You've got to look at the squad that we've got, taking a step back. The squad's not good enough. The sign of a good manager is always getting more out of the team than the sum of its parts. Neil Warnock could do it. You look back to when, even Carlos Corberán, he did it. David Wagner, look at his team that got promoted. He could do that. He could look at the set of players that he'd got and get the best out of them, set the team up in a way that would make us awkward to beat, set the team up in a way that would make us, be able to get at teams and pick up points when we could. When you look at Darren Moore's team, he sets us up defensively. He's trying not to lose. I do understand that we've not got creative players. We've not got the forwards that we need, but you've still got to try at some point to get at teams. You can't just play not to lose forever, because 9 times out of 10 with the players that we've got, you are going to end up losing. Like tonight, look at the formation, look where the players were playing. He'll say, we've played 2 up front, it's attacking. But for me, it wasn't. It was set up as a team there not to lose again. And fans won't have it. Fans won't pay. And, there's rumours that ticket prices are going to go up next season. Darren Moore's still there, and this is a sign of football. Even whatever league we're in, fans will vote with their feet, and you'll be lucky to get 10,000 in. Like you say, 17,000 announced to end. Embarrassing. I reckon at kick-off there were 11,000 max. So that's like 6,000 people that just now decided not to turn up.
They brought two and a half, probably just 2, 3, something like that. But they were clever, possibly. It don't take a rocket scientist to go, but they just went for it at the start, didn't they?
Yeah.
Let's get at them, makeshift fullbacks, and the bomb on. And mate, they're just like, first 10 minutes, I'm thinking, we're in for a bad night. It looked like they've been on a 10-game unbeaten run, not no goals in 3, and it makes you sick, like Dwayne Holmes. Obviously, I mean, it was a cock-up from Max. That summed it up, didn't it? Just Maxwell, who I've been talking up, and a few of us have. To be fair, most of them kept him in, but Holmes lays it off and just goes under him. And you could just feel that just everyone's who were there were just from a town persuasion, just like, the heart sunk in it when the ball went under him, and we were done, mate.
Yeah, that one's that third one, and you should have just finished the game there, really, mate, because we were never going to get back into it, really, to be honest. But it's the more long-term damage that I'm worried about under Moore.
Yeah, me too, mate.
If we keep him in post, it's going to turn more and more fans away. And once fans start finding other things to do in this modern world, it's very hard to get them back. And the club have got a big decision to make. They've brought him in, as you say, they talked him up to be a certain style of manager.
What would you do, Paz, if you're Cartwright, Jake Edwards?
I don't know.
What are you thinking?
It's a massive decision, isn't it? Because Moore has done.
You're admitting you're wrong, aren't you? You're admitting you're wrong.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes in football you've got to do that. But I look back over history of management over the last 5 years, and what we're doing, just employing managers for 25 games, and if they're not good, getting rid and then bringing someone else in. You can't work like that. You've got to have some sort of continuity and some sort of plan. And if their plan is Darren Moore, they have the balls to stick with him and then get through to January, limp through, try and get as many points on board as we can, and then back him and bring in some players that can play the style of football that he wants. You've got another one there, though. Who the hell's going to want to come? We're not going to be paying massive money to people. Who's sat there thinking, do you know what? I fancy a move. Where can I go? Huddersfield Town. If you're in a lower league, you're going to look up and say, do you know what? They're probably going to get relegated. So, no. If you're looking at a Premier League alone, our players, a club's looking at that and saying, do you know what? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll send our young players to Huddersfield because they play good football. Absolutely no chance. What type of player are you looking at? For me, only anyone that would come to Town now, somebody who's not got a club. Because playing for Town is better than playing for nobody. I can't imagine any player in any scenario looking at Town and saying, do you know what? I'll move there.
Yeah. Pause. I had from a good source tonight that Town sacked some of their medical staff last week, mate, and we've seen a lot of injuries, and it's unbelievable, isn't it? How, I don't know if it's just where you're doing poor that you seem to pick up injuries, but it's just what's going on, mate. We seem to be, guys, battles like Ward's broke down again with, other players. Obviously, Kazumu's had injury problems. As giant strikers gone missing. You've seen Ben Jackson. It's what's going on, man?
Do you know what that is? Again, you've got to look at the squad size. You've got to look at young players playing first team football. Older players playing too much football. That's what it is. Danny Ward, wrong side of 30 now. He can't play every week. Kyle Hildred, he's too young. He's not played first team football regular, and they're expected him to do it in Championship. He's going to get injured. Similarly with players like like Ben Jackson's and Radonis. They're still very young. They're still growing. They're still developing as footballers. And if they're being played all the time, they're going to get little knocks. They're going to get little niggles. And again, you've got to look back to squad size, mate. Everybody knows my history originally about the squad size and the quality and stuff like that. But it all stems from start of season, mate. Squad not big enough, not good enough.
Paul, where do you think we are compared to a year ago under Fotheringham? Do you think same, the worst, as a club? Where do you think we're in a better position?
If you were looking at overall as a club, I'd say we're miles worse off. We're miles worse off than what we were under Fotheringham. Yeah, it were bad there, and fans were getting disillusioned. But I speak to people now, and it's 10 times worse. And I think it's probably because we had Fotheringham, we got rid of him, we brought in Warnock, we had the little bit of success in staying up. We brought him back for another year. Things were they were positive, and Warnock's going to be here to babysit us through until the end of the season. Then they've pulled rug under us again and got him out and brought in Martin, who's clearly not had the start that he wanted. So you're just going around in a cycle. You go back a little bit further, you look at Corberan. we did it there. We got into a good position, got to the playoff. They wanted backing, we didn't. We pulled rug underneath us. We had to start again.
Mm.
You know, we're just continually going through that cycle, and fans have just added.
Yeah.
I think they're just sick of it at the moment, and I don't blame anybody who doesn't go at the minute, because, you know, find something better to do with your time, and there's plenty out there. So, you know, those that go, I take my hat off to you. You know, going down, supporting the club and stuff like that. But at the minute, it's a tough watching it. Let's be honest.
Oh, mate, it is. But, Paul, thanks for your thoughts. I'll bring Tom in. Tom, you heard obviously Paul's passion, mate. He was there till the end. I saw him till the end. I stayed till the end, but it was just incredible, mate. You had 4 players kind of clapping. Jonathan Hogg, I'm trying to think who else was there. Headley, I think Ben Wiles, everyone else had gone, mate. Do you think we're sinking? Have you got any faith, you know, in the owners, Darren Moore? What's your thoughts, mate?
I think kind of tonight, this is the first. I mean, I was a bit worried on Saturday. I was sat there on Saturday thinking, bloody hell, Bristol City, not a good team. I think that was the worrying thing. We scrape a draw against them. Apologies, my voice has gone a bit here. I don't think Preston were out impressive, and like you've already touched on, I mean, they've been struggling to score in these last few games, and that was the main worry tonight. They've come out looking like they're top of the league, pushing, do you know what I mean? So they're all over us in that first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And the ownership side of things, I think time has really got to be given there, because I think the problem is it's been a build-up of years. It's been years of build-up, this, on it. And everything has just been fired at the ownership now. And it's like, he's only really been here for, 5 months? That's a short time being a football owner. But I'm sorry, I'd love to give Darren Moore some time. But the thing that's worrying me is I'm still not even seeing a style coming out of it. I'm not seeing any football that I think, I see what he's trying to do here. The goal was very good, Cozzy, tonight. The build-up of the goal from the back. But that was the only time we saw that all game, and it's kind of like, did the players just take that upon themselves to do that kind of thing? Do you know what I mean? Not like something we work on in training, or it's really... Yeah, it's really depressing.
It's almost embarrassing, mate, because to the button again, but like what goes off and then we got DR on. It's just like, we ain't got a striker. You know, Arrett's knackered. I mean, he's obviously only a young guy. You can't put your eyes on him. Honestly, it's just like, even Bergsorg's not meant to be a striker. And that's a few people debating behind me. And because obviously I think Mines I think it's only till January, isn't it, this loan? So, I mean, does he want to stay? Do you want to go back? And yeah, we're just a shambles, mate, at the forward part of the pitch. And that Alan Brown, mate, for Preston, who scored the first goal, kind of pulled off Ellick and that as well. Sounds a bit rude, that, doesn't it? But just everything I wanted to see in a midfielder, mate. He were crunching tackles. He were like having shots. He scored. He just like his energy levels. His captain is just our midfield, mate. Kazuma's done a fine job again. You know, I thought he did as best as he could, but he has got his limitations. But it just feels like a League One squad at the moment, mate. And I'd get, you know, give us time. We saw that rumour come out with Alan Nixon on Sunday. You know, obviously Diarra leaving the club, Leicester or whatever, and supposedly some kind of foreign signing. But I think that the thing for me tonight, though, Tom, I defended Darren Moore to so many people who've just not had him. And, you know, obviously there's such an affection with Warnock and stuff. But it's the first time I've walked out tonight thinking, Jesus Christ, and, you know, we're in a lot of trouble here. And these were 2 home games. The 4 points were the minimum for me, and just to get one. But it's just how it happened, hasn't it? Just like it's soul destroying, really. And just the people you just expected it tonight to be half empty as well. Obviously, Saturday, the weather were atrocious. But there's the football, his persona, mate, he's just not exciting anyone. And I just kind of felt the light show was such a drab affair. It was almost like summed the club up at the moment. It's just like, at the moment, it's just a big dark cloud hanging over it, mate. And there's some lads that are really busting the gut in there. I thought against Sorba Thomas, mate, he's really putting a shift in, mate, much more than I think for most managers that we've seen so far, maybe including Corberan. But it does your head in, doesn't it, mate, to see just like Dwayne Holmes come back and just like, very effective and obviously, deemed surplus to requirements by the powers that be as we downsize our squad. I'm really down about it, mate. And Millwall away Saturday, we know how huge that is, but it might not be a bad thing being away. I'm just trying to take any positives at the moment, but you've got to say though, mate, I think, sure, if obviously leaders will never, some back down, some don't, but if Kevin Nagle, Mark Cartwright and Jake Edwards can sit there thinking, Darren Moore is our man and we're going to back him, I'm a bit worried, mate, because it seems like we're all over the place at the moment, man.
Yeah, it's a really tough one. I mean, I'd love for us to give him time, but like I'm saying, I just don't see a plan. And Chris said it perfectly, to be honest. I don't know if I trust him getting any more out. If we do bring in 3 or 4 players, I don't think it's going to help too much. We're really missing Radoni. We are missing Radoni a lot. Yeah. We're missing that, just someone up with a bit of spark up top, aren't we? But it's just, I'm just lost for words, really, because of what to say about what Moore's doing at the moment. And it is sad because you don't want any town manager to fail, but he actually seems like a genuinely nice bloke, doesn't he? And that kind of thing.
Yeah, the stadium though, Tom, it's sad to see, and it just you're just as empty as it was. It was
like
it's unbelievable, man.
I don't think I've seen it that empty. So I wasn't there tonight, but I was there Saturday, and I know, like you said, the weather was absolutely terrible, but I've not seen it that empty maybe since we were in fourth tier.
I think the worrying thing for me, mate, is that I know lads tonight who weren't there, but they weren't even watching on Red Button or IPTV, whatever. They were watching Champions League because they're out of love with it, mate. And I honestly don't think even a few more wins will get people back into bed with him, mate, and that as well. And I wonder what Neil Warnock's kind of thinking at the moment, man. It's incredible, and it's just it's so worrying, and you're looking who we can drag down into it. I think Stoke only got a draw, didn't I? Know, thank God Rotherham as bad as they are, but I always think when you're looking for favours or whatever, you got to look at your own business, aren't you, first? And we're a bit we're in a real mess, but
it's that it's that tight. I mean, if we should have, for me, we should have beat Bristol. I thought they were bad.
Yeah, they were.
It's that tight down at the bottom at the moment. Go on have a couple of wins. Like games like Saturday and tonight was so massive, and Saturday coming is massive because Millwall are on a bit of a dodgy spell as well. So it's like you've really got to be taking advantage of this until we come up against the likes of Ipswich, Leicester, and all that again. It just seems really naive. A lot of from coaching to some of the decisions on the pitch, there's a lot of naive decisions going on at the moment. So, get me off here because my voice is going again. But
give us straight red. Cheers, Tom.
Cheers, mate.
Matt's joined us. Travelled all the way back to beautiful Leeds. Matt, are you going to mug me off here and stay on mute? No, you're not. You're a legend, mate. Thanks very much, but. Mate, I mean, some people obviously travel afar. We have a guy, doing a match report who comes from Bristol, and there's people that are travelling like 250 miles round trips. Have got likes of Bob Farrell, Epsom Terriers, and people like that. And there's people now, mate, who's like lives 5 minutes away that are just not asked to come. And how sad does it make you feel, mate, as a town fan? You travel as far as anyone leaves to Huddersfield on a rush hour weeknight. Anyone who works over there knows how hard it is, and you're rewarded with that tonight, mate. You must be so pissed off.
Mate, I'm full of cold. I've got no idea what you're doing here, doing this Spaces thing, because honestly, the only thing worse than watching that football match again is going back through it. It was just, it was the absolute worst, mate. I was listening to Radio Leeds on the way home, and Dag Barnett was on there. He's a guy who's been on our podcast before. Frequents the forum down at the Mac, if you've heard that name before. And he made a lot of good points as well. And he comes from, I think, over towards Blackpool way. So anybody who's, made the effort to get there tonight, more power to them and big respect, because it's such a tough watch at the minute, and it's been a tough watch for 12 months, mate. I come home from football. My other half, Rachel, can't be bothered going anymore. Neither can my little one. So for the last few games, it's just been me and my mate Tom, who goes with me, couldn't be bothered either tonight. So I went with Killer, who's sat listed in the background. I think we should invite him to speak as well. And we were the only people on our row. Absolutely nobody on the row behind us. A couple of people on the row in front. And it's depressing, and it feels like you're back to square one from where we were this time last year. A lucky win 12 months ago away at QPR with Josh Ruffles pulling, 2 wonder goals out of the bag. And was that the Sunderland moment? Is it the same? And it just feels like we're going through the same things again. And it's depressing because we've been through it all before. We know how it ends, and we don't have that joker this time where we can go get Neil Warnock in February and say, do you know what, Neil, come and save us, because he'll tell us to do one.
Matt, you sound absolutely knackered, mate. So I'm hoping Killer's going to be a gentleman and come on here.
Johnny in there as well, Johnny Gillespie. I've invited him to speak. He's shirking as well. He's shirking more than Edmonds Green at right back today. So there's not many people, but it's difficult to watch. And it's difficult to come onto a platform like this after watching that and be balanced. Sometimes you need a couple of days, don't you, just to reflect and just calm down. But it's difficult to sort of immediately make sense of everything that you've seen without kind of flying off the handle a little bit. And, we did, I agree fully with what Pozza says. I cannot see in the 15 or 16 games, whatever it is, Darren Moore's had, I've not seen one passage of play where I can see, oh, right, yeah, that's what they're working on. It's just 11 men behind the ball, kick it forward, don't follow it up, win a free kick. And that's all it is. And it's depressing to watch, especially when, the impetus is usually on the home team, isn't it? And to watch us do that against teams in the, Bristol City, I thought were a bit better than what Tom said. I thought that they're an okay side. And Preston, like I put in the group text, mate, Preston hadn't scored for 351 minutes. And then, within 2 minutes, they're in front against us and should have been 3 up inside 5. It's a tough watch. And, the title of the last podcast was called Biding Time. And essentially it's because you just feel like you're killing time until January. And that's when the club have got to make changes. And if they don't make changes, then Huddersfield Town will be in League One next season. It's as simple as that.
Matt, we've got a couple of people ready to save your voice, mate. Killer's one of them. But
get Kilroy Silk on.
Oh, Killer's coming on first. Demo, I could bring you in next. Sorry, mate. And you must be doing some DJing, Demo. Get back to your decks, mate. But, Killer, I know I was driving back past Cooper Bridge thinking, where do I go here, mate? The scrapyard, the back home. It just feels, it's so psychological damaging tonight's game, Killer, in my opinion. It's, even if we'd have scraped a draw, coming back from behind, but I just kind of felt like the ball went under Maxwell and it was almost like a balloon popping, mate, wasn't it? Just the club's on its arse, isn't it?
I kind of expected it Saturday, Cosy. Coming into a couple of home games, we can't play the defensive way we've been playing up until now. We had to give it a bit of a go. And I didn't think we had it in us. And I didn't go Saturday. I've watched highlights and whatnot. But tonight is kind of what I expected. I thought we were going to open up just a touch and that would be too much and we'd be able to get ripped apart. And that's exactly what happened tonight, didn't it, really? We don't have any sort of ability to play football. Matt and I were talking about it. I don't see any patterns. Warnock, we're defensive. We didn't have much of the ball, but when we did get the ball and we broke forward, you could kind of see the assignments what we had. But I just can't see anything under Darren Moore. I don't see it. And today was a really big one, I thought, in that it reminded me, I think it was Bristol City. Again, Matt will correct me, under Fotheringham, where the players kind of just gave up for him. Dwayne Holmes, funnily enough, as it happens, kicked a dugout, and you could see on the pitch it just mentally they weren't there. And that tonight, it felt like that for me. It just felt like as soon as the game turned against us really quickly, and it happens sometimes in football. It did against Cardiff, and we kind of again, it wasn't a game where I thought where we threw it away. Things just went against us. But that today, there were players arguing. There were just people not working off the ball.
Pearson had a right ding dong, mate, after it's goal 2. Whoa, let's see. I thought they were.
And Matt and I kept pointing out in our midfield 3 of Osterfield, Hogg, and Kasumu weren't marking whatsoever. They'd been given an assignment today to kind of stand in a straight 3, stop the passing lanes, but not track the men. And that
second goal, that blonde guy, I forgot his name, was scored. Gee, he just like waltzed through, like Strictly Come Dancing, mate.
It was honestly, some of the stuff I saw tonight was ridiculous. I couldn't believe I was watching it. And
does that worry you, Killer, so much after this is a team that's 4 unbeaten? So we're not talking someone's lost 10 in a row or none in 8. This is a team 4 unbeaten against a team who've been shite, and that happens. Does that worry you even more, or does it not bother you that if it happens, it happens? Is that on the back of
anybody? Because anyone that's actually watched Town over the last 4 games understand it's a bit of a fraud form in it. Yeah. It's not a form where you're like, we're going to crack on here and move up the league. Yeah. Like, we should have got more.
You're right, mate.
Not that we deserved it on performances, but kind of with the way the game's played out, we should have taken a few more. We've not. We don't deserve to be where we're at. And when the club's coming out saying we're 4 unbeaten, everyone who's watched it, no one's buying that shite. We're just not doing it. You understand it's quite fortunate, and you can't play that way all season. And that's the thing that's happened tonight for me. Mentally, it looks like they're not quite where they were at a few games ago. The players, and that happens when you don't have any of the possession, and every single game you're having to be perfect for 90 minutes to take either 3 points or even a point. We were at Sunderland, causes, and we were fantastic at blocking everything on the edge of the box. But you cannot go out for a full season of 46 games expecting to be able to do that and block everything.
Yeah, I put that tweet about Sunderland. They had 47 times they were in our area, mate. It would have such a lucky win, wasn't it? But again, we cling on to hope because we're shit.
But I think the players at that point, even though it's only a few games ago, at that point of the season, kind of erratic because they think it might get a little bit better. But you continue going on as we have done, offering nothing at home. Mo's been here even longer. They're in training with him. They're doing more and more things with him. And you see it tonight, and it just looks to me like they're checking out a little bit. It looks like the belief that we had a few games ago. And I suppose when you're taking Tom Lees off at half time, again, that seems to me. Was he injured? Did he talk about that in his press conference after the game? Or
I'm not listening to that, mate. Forget it.
Who's turning to listen to that one? Someone must have listened to it. But just taking off leaders like that, and it's just, to me, looks a bit like a shit show. And the thing is, the players will pick up on it as well. They'll know it. Us fans can complain about it all we want, but players are an egotistical bunch, and they'll know whether Darren Moore has the ear of the other players in the squad. And to me, when you're looking at it tonight and the way the Town players were arguing between themselves early on in the game, and just the general tempo was awful. Yeah, the first 10 minutes after the second half were okay. We opened up a little bit, and what happened? We got caught for the 3rd goal after Reggie didn't try and dive in, and we just looked pretty awful in the midfield.
Do you have a bit of sympathy with them and Killer? Because obviously you've alluded to the, not being we try and open up, we get picked off and stuff. So have you got a little bit of sympathy, or do you just think he don't help himself enough to get that?
He don't help himself. I don't think the squad's good enough. I don't think that's Darren Moore's fault. I think Neil Warnock was replaced because of the stuff that he said after, was it the Norwich game or whatever, when we were talking about signing Ruffle and all that kind of stuff that we've been over many, many times. Darren Moore, I don't think anybody could come in and make this team win. I don't. But then Darren Moore's making decisions, to me, that are making us even worse than we have to be. Is it going to be enough to bring somebody else in to keep us up? I don't think that's possible either. But Darren Moore doesn't help himself when he's making the changes that he does in the personnel. Like Healy tonight. Healy, I know he wasn't very great at the weekend, but going forward, he offers us something at least. And we had no pace down one side. Osterfield didn't even seem to touch the ball today. Where's he suddenly come from to deserve a start? There's just decisions made that I don't understand. And that's very normally, I think, between us all as a fan group, you can kind of work out the system he's trying to play. But I can't, not tonight. That was quite a strange one for me.
The thing is, Killer, it's like the Leeds game, obviously, he made the changes at half-time when he probably should have done it a lot earlier than that, and he's done exactly the same tonight. Does that knock your confidence of him even more, or do you, because I suppose you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, but again, it just makes me laugh when you see people warming up at half-time, you know there's going to be 2 or 3 changes. It's almost like, mate, or do you have sympathy thinking, well, hang on a minute, I didn't send you out to play like this, you've let us down, I had to bin you off. He just gets a bit tiresome now, just seeing 2 free subs every half-time, doesn't it?
And none of them are effective either, though, because we come out in the second half and we are no better. Like today we were not 10 minutes while you could see Ben Wild were given the instruction to get the ball, turn and drive it forward. And for those first 10 minutes after half time, we did, and we looked okay. But again, you're 2-0 down at home, so if you can't do it then, you can never do it. It's not a game-changing thing. We had one chance. Danny Ward's put an amazing shot at header away. I thought it was a fantastic bit of play. But that was it for the entire game, wasn't it? There was next to nothing. There was nothing else. And then I'm just lost with Darren Moore. But then I don't know who else could do better. And I just feel no matter what I think or what anyone else that is listening to this thinks about Darren Moore, he's Kevin Nagel's man for this season, and we're going to have to get used to him being here. It's just, is he going to get the backing in January to have extra options so we can at least provide something? Because that tonight we're pretty embarrassing for a home game. It was, Preston fans didn't even have to sing. Even they couldn't get overexcited about their performance because of how poor we were.
Yeah.
And that's pretty uncommon, isn't it? You don't lose often 3-1 at home and the away team aren't making an absolute racket from the first minute to the last minute. But tonight, even they knew it were a comfortable victory and they couldn't even be bothered to sing too much.
Well, I think obviously they had it in from, they know obviously Maxwell from the time with Blackpool, and to be obviously happy with a few of us have been talking up, he's done all right, but he just about sums it up, doesn't it, that he reverted kind of to his old ways, and it's just so depressing, mate. But yeah, thanks for coming on, Killer. Damo, I'll bring you on, mate. Thanks for being patient. God, that sounds like a proper radio host here and that as well, mate. But Damo, last time me and you probably met in the flesh, mate, Luton Town playoff. We just got to Wembley, mate. Life were good. You put on some loads of town songs, DJing in, I forgot which boozer it was now, and that's another shield. And it just felt good to be a Town fan, mate. Just probably the polar opposite to what where we are tonight. But yeah, I just thought we had to come on and do a Spaces tonight because I've never seen for a long time just so many empty seats, so much disillusionment and so much silence, it's gutting, mate, isn't it? It's absolutely gutting to see what's happening.
Yeah, exactly, mate. It was the White Swan, pal. White Swan in town. We were in there after Luton, singing. I had work next day. Didn't get into 1:30 hour. Absolutely steaming. And
we thought Johnny Russell were a good player in them days, mate, but that's what Jig does to you.
Exactly. But tonight, to start off with, who in the right mind thinks, you know what, we're 21st in the league, you know what, let's try and entertain the fans by turning some light bulbs on and off. It just doesn't make sense. Like, if we're under Carlos or under David Wagner and we were playing good football near the playoffs or even higher, and you thought, you know what, let's get the fans up for him, we're doing really, really well, fair enough. But we're 21st playing drab football and we think, let's put on a light show to 10,000 people who were sat there before kick-off. Probably not even that. There were so many empty seats before kick-off and they tried getting people in. And it didn't work, did it? It did not work. But then, getting onto the football, that second goal, I'm sorry, but our defence must be the slowest in the Championship. Those three centre-halves are slow as oats. And you know what? The atmosphere from minute one summed it up. And even Saturday, we go 1-0 up. And nobody, even at 1-0 up, wants to get behind the team. Because they just know what's coming. And it started tonight. People tried, but as soon as they scored, no one wanted to get behind that team. And even when we scored to make it 2-1, nobody... A few people tried to get it going, but then they literally scored about 5 minutes later, wasn't it? And then that were it then. There was literally no atmosphere whatsoever. But I'm just looking at the next sort of 5 or 6 games, causing you got Millwall away, Norwich away, Blackburn and Borough at home, and then Leicester away, and then City in FA Cup. And I'm not being funny, but I think we're going to go winless in 6, and then go to City, and they chant every time we play them that they beat us 10-1, and it could be worse.
No, I think the thing that makes it worse for me is just like we've been on like Killer said there, it's almost like a fraudulent run, but even as bad as it's been 4 games when you haven't lost or losing football, but if you just walked in there tonight, it's just like you'd be thinking, this was like, again, I've said it so many times in the pod this year, this was like a Premier League versus a National League team. It was just pathetic, mate. And again, as Killer said, it's like the Preston fans weren't even going that mental, whether they were just, how shit will Shoe be? I know a lot of teams throw that out when they're winning, but it's just so depressing, mate. It's like, I think we are stuck with Darren Moore, but people they've had enough, mate. And it's a long time. So I'm trying to think back when it was as bad as this kind of fan-wise demo. I know a lot of people point to Chris Powell and the kind of the dull persona and the boring football, but the crowd still came though, didn't they? But no, I've never known it as, it was Saturday. I wasn't there, but people who were there said it was sub 10,000. Tonight, maybe with the Preston fans, it might have scraped 10, but we're talking disillusionment of a massive level, mate.
people have said tonight that we've set up to try and get a point or like that, but I don't think we did. Like, if you're trying to get a point out of that game or trying not to lose, you don't play Sorba Thomas and Josh Koroma as wing backs, because Thomas has probably been our best player over the last 4 or 5 weeks and has put in a good defensive shift, but it's not something that Josh Koroma wants to do or can do. Like, if you're playing to get a point out of that game, you put Yuta Nakayama at left wing back. Like, I don't understand why he's even put him there. He played there Saturday and did all right, but like, you got Ward who's coming off 5 minutes after he scored when you're looking then to try and get a second goal. Stick Koroma up top. Like, then gone and put Sorba Thomas up top and then brought on Brahima Diarra as a right wing back. Like, what on earth's going on there? Didn't make sense whatsoever tonight, tactically at all. He completely lost it.
I think what the good thing for me, Damo, is that, again, anyone who I know Sports Sheffield Wednesday just tells me this is how it is, this is how he is, he's a nice guy. They kind of going about this fluke. Obviously, that second leg they had against Peterborough, well, you'll never get many of them to a pound, but it's almost like papered over a lot of cracks. And they've really set him up to fail, I think, at Town, because the quote about this exciting football and I just love to believe that, even if we've sinking to the bottom 3, get there and then get his signings in. And I know, obviously, it's debated who wants to come, etc. But and all of a sudden we'll start seeing something nice to watch. But maybe there's just no evidence whatsoever. And it's just like we're getting beat by some really bang average teams. Again, 3 goals conceded with 4 goals against Birmingham. Cardiff smashed us for 4. When we're losing, mate, we're losing big. And even that, the Tom Lee's sub is like huge, isn't it? When you're taking off a senior player like that, who's, I'm assuming he's not injured, it's just like, then you wondered about losing the dressing room. Honestly, I'm just so worn out with it like everyone else is, because we've just been there last season. And like Matt said, we've got to get our jail card with Warnock. That's gone. And it's gutting, mate, because there's a lot of teams around us that are pretty poor, but where's our quality? Where's our
honestly, mate, that Tom Lee sub baffled me, because I think he brought off the wrong man. For me, Pearson had to be dragged off at half time. He had a woeful first half. I mean, he got it from kick-off, tried hoofing him, booted it out of play. He literally chipped it straight out of play. And I'm thinking, I know that's what we're used to now with Pearson, but I'm not being funny. These are championship footballers. They should be able to kick it in a straight line down the football field and not be chipping it out of play. And tonight for me is mainly on the players, but also Darren Moore. Like, I've backed him ever since he's come in, thinking that eventually it will be the right man. Should we get to January and can get the players that he actually wants, that'll actually suit what he plays. But it's like,
what does he play, though? What does he play, mate? This is what we're all asking.
I don't know. There's no style of play, but it's quite obvious at the minute that these players aren't suited in terms of what he's trying to do. I mean,
David, would you extend Bergsorg's loan?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. I would as well.
100%.
It took more of a sub, though, if we had a decent 11, but we haven't got that, have we now? So it needs must, but it's... Yeah, I mean, to be fair, mate, we're getting firing into some tackles and stuff today. He does look up for it. I know he's frustrated as a lot, but he's still a guy who can, as we've seen, win you a game or two. But it's, to me, in a good side, you're probably nowhere near a starting 11, but obviously we're on his ass, so in he comes and he's an attacking player, which we haven't got many of them. But
yeah, Cozzy.
No,
Cozzy, question for you, mate. Who's your number one at the minute?
Oh, in keeper-wise, well, bloody hell, you saw my, I'd say tweets or X's or whatever now, but yeah, to be fair, I would have stick with Maxwell, but it's unconventional. I mean, I'm no goalkeeper, but I mean, with it in the first few minutes where he kind of, it's weird, isn't it? He don't like, he kind of comes out and kind of punches stuff in the air, and there's some weird, I mean, as long as he doesn't go in a goal, it don't matter, but I mean, I'm skirting around your question there, man. I'm fucking like an teammate, but
there's one tonight where the cross is coming in, Evans challenged him completely fine, and
you can't put him after one error though, Damo. It made Moore look even worse, than he's kind of just said, look, you know, we've got two good keepers, usual, sit on the fence, but he's obviously stuck his Maxwell. For him just to pin him on for Saturday, got to Millwall with Nichols, I think that's a bad looks bad, that. But
for me, Jose, I think Nichols, although he's not had a great start to the season in himself, and he'll know that in himself, for me, he has at one point been one of the best keepers in this league, and Maxwell's not been anywhere near that at all in his career. So for me, you've got to stick with Nichols, just his presence in general. I just think you got to go with him, and he's a proper leader.
Yeah, so you'd make that change on Saturday, mate, at Millwall, just bring him back on as well. Honestly, you're just like shuffling deck chairs on Titanic like your wheelers at the moment and stuff. But yeah, there's what was more, I think, Damo, because I kind of were chatting to this with a couple of guys this week. It's like I don't know about hatred, but there's a lot of anger. It's quite, I don't know if it's shocked me, but you've seen the Kilnabank have a running spats with Pearson. Tonight, as soon as the second goal went in, there's boos and there's people kind of getting on backs and ready to boo. And obviously, I don't know if it's been sold this family club and it's a tight-knit bunch, these fans, but I just think, to be honest, mate, I know we had that season, obviously we talked about it there, where you did, when we had the Luton game, but apart from that, pretty much for like last 5-6 seasons, it's just been losing football week in, week out, mate, underinvestment. And I just think more, he's just getting all that, mate. I think he's just the frustration from those who can be asked, to be honest, to go now. There's so many that are not. He's just, so there is a little bit of sympathy for me with that, but he's just honestly, mate, I was thinking tonight, I just don't want to be here, because not just because we're not winning, but there's a horrible atmosphere, mate. It's not a good place to be. I like to be positive and stuff about not just football, but like life. And I'm just sat next to people who are abusing people, swearing people, everything's really negative. But it just showed, mate, when we kind of had a good 10 minutes and scored, that I didn't want much. All of a sudden, we had some chanting appeared and stuff. And it's just everything around it that's just kind of getting me. I can get winning and losing, but he's just wear and tear, mate. It's just like ebbing away. And it's just like, I think everyone's just absolutely drained, and you're just getting all that frustration released. I think he must go home, mate, and like privately chatting to people thinking, fuck me, I thought Huddersfield fans were behind the team. This were kind of a nice club, and wow, they're proper at me. What do you make of all that?
Well, fair. I think his hands are tied behind his back with the squad. I mean, it showed last year that the squad isn't good enough, and we've not invested that much. I mean, when they said, oh yeah, we've made significant investment in terms of the transfer fee for Ben Wiles, it turned out to be 800 grand. You're going, what's going on here? Like, that's not significant investment. And I get they have to stay within FFP and things like that, but, it proved last year that squad wasn't good enough. And once again, like, every transfer window, we just seem to miss out on targets that we're going for. I mean, Warnock said it early doors, didn't he, that it wanted a striker in it, and it ended up going to somebody else, and it's never come out of that war. But it just shows this squad is currently not good enough to stay in the Championship. And, everyone says, January is massive, but are we going to invest in January? Because we've obviously not invested in the summer due to FFP. So how are we going to then invest in January when we're once again fighting FFP because of Kevin's first year? Well, we're not going to do it. So it's going to be loans and frees. But as people have said, like yourself, who on earth from like Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United are going to send their young kids to us when it's just a losing team? Like, how's that going to aid a young player's development? It's not. So, I just thought there's some free transfers out there that are good enough to keep us up, because I think that's the only way that we're going to sort of invest in this team in a minute.
Damo, thanks for coming on, mate. I appreciate it. And keep good luck with all your DJing work, mate.
Top
Legend, man. Joe Kelly's joined us. Joe, dearie me, you've come on to the Samaritans HTFC line. Man, talk to me about Huddersfield Town this season, mate, tonight. Where do we start?
I think it sums it up when we try to sell our season cards, to be honest with you. We can't even fill half a grand.
What a joke that is.
And we try to sell our season cards. We're offering the big red lower tier, whatever it's called these days. And there's
about 50 people in there tonight.
Yeah, shocking, isn't it? But, I mean, what makes me laugh is, for example, we try to ping it around back with Pearson, Hellick and Lees, and we can't even do that properly. And then Edmonds Greens goes to make a pass to where it's Sorba, puts it straight out of play. It's just you just got to laugh. It's like in the last minute against Bristol on Saturday, we get a free kick, and we've got bodies in the box, and he's trying to whip it in. We play a short corner, give it away. Just little things like that. But I mean, yeah, it's just. I knew at the start of this season. I mean, I don't whoever followed me on Twitter. I had a bit of a do with Kevin Nagel where I actually ended up blocking me on Twitter, to be fair. But I mean, I knew at the start of the season, and I agree with what Poz was saying earlier, that it's just, you could just tell we were going to struggle. And getting rid of Warnock, obviously, you don't know what's going on there, but ever since getting rid of him, it's just been an absolute shit show. And yeah, I think it's just going to get worse. I think, like everyone's saying, if we do get rid of Moore, we're accepting. Well, the board are accepting failure, so they're not going to do that. But again, as everyone said, who's actually going to come and want to join us, manager or player? I'm trying to think of anyone who'd be right in their minds to come sign for us or managers at the minute. So, yeah, it's shocking, but I'm stupidly going to Millwall on Saturday, but more going for the weekend, I think, rather than the actual game. I mean, I used to hate leaving early. I used to detest it. And it's got to a point now where I'm looking at the clock thinking, right, I'm going to go now. I mean, I've left at half-time against Leeds, Cardiff, tonight. Even at 2-0, I could have left at half-time tonight, to be honest. It's just very depressing. But it's like I was looking earlier, and you're looking, like the connection. I mean, we were speaking, actually, me and Lado I sit next to him, we were saying about, even under the core brand days, we weren't exactly connected to the team, and we weren't playing great football, but we finished third that season. Even on them, we were starting quick, we were scoring goals, and then we were solid. But now we're starting shocking. I mean, against Bristol on Saturday, we could have been 2-0 down before we actually went 1-0 up. Tonight, again, obviously, we was down after our many minutes. But yeah, I just don't know. I genuinely don't know where we turn to be honest. I think, knowing what's all going on now, we might as well have got relegated last season, because did Nagel want a League One club? Has he got the money? We don't. It's all these questions you don't know. He's more bothered about his...
How's your kind of mates and stuff, you people, that are they losing interest, fed up with more, just apathy with Huddersfield? How's your kind of people?
Yeah, so I sit in the Kilner Bank, and I go with my dad, and my dad's gone literally all his life, and he recently, past couple of seasons, he's just given up hope. He didn't bother tonight, and one of the lads, he didn't even get a season ticket this season. He just knew it was going to be the same again. So yeah, people are starting to just get really peed off, and I mean, you can't blame them, because I mean, I saw a stat the other season where us and Rochdale we'd hardly won a game, something along them lines. We were teams to hardly win a game, and you just think for town fans now, like you hear about Man United fans complaining that they're losing games in Champions League and they're in turmoil. You look at us; they don't even have a clue. Them type of fans, are they? When you look at us, Preston North End on a Tuesday cold December night, and we're getting played off at Park. Can't even get near them. But yeah, it's one of them. I think everyone's just kind of losing the interest, but it's only going to get worse before it gets better, to be honest.
You're not got much hope for January then, Joe, that we can get the guys in that we need? Or
no. I mean, let's be honest. When was the last time we had a good transfer window? Would you say when we brought Smith Rowe in 2020? I mean, even then, with that squad that we had on paper, if you look at that squad, I mean, now anyway, you'd
compare that to then. Now, bloody hell, it's like a League One, lower half League One squad. That might be being kind at the moment, but it was just sad to see tonight, mate. Like senior players like arguing with each other, and it's the first time, it's kind of feels like everything was just like falling apart. Yeah, with the Cardiff game, obviously Leeds probably the ultimate low, but you can kind of accept Leeds being, a good side that they are. Hopefully, not many of their fans are on here, but I don't want to blow too much smoke up there. But the class team, mate, and obviously they'll be battling for promotion. But Preston, no. Such a rope, but they could have won by 5 or 6, mate, to be honest with you, Joe. Yeah. Did you think we were going to come back and win it, mate, until Maxwell cocked up? Not really. Did you? We think it was just a bit of a good 10 minutes for us.
I think it was just a good 10 minutes. Don't get me wrong, it was actually nice and positive, and it's frustrating that it took then to get going. But, I mean, yeah, as soon as we got the goal, you were thinking, right, come on, and then Bergsorg went in and their defender made a good block, and then obviously I've heard him say on way on tonight they had to bring Ward off. But that's the thing, it's like as soon as he made the substitutions, it just killed it again. And all it was were for their third goal, long ball downfield. and cut back inside. And I mean, the goal shocking. And yeah, I heard the Maxwell Lee Nichols debate. I mean, I think Nichols himself has let him some hours this season compared to his usual standards. But yeah, I just think I think it was more that Preston just they switched off after half time more than anything, really. I think as soon as they got back into control of the game, which they did in that second half, they got that third goal, put 10 men behind ball, and that was that. It's just, I think.
What did he say after Joe? Because I don't think I can bear watching that YouTube.
I don't listen to his YouTube. Luckily, the broadcast went off by the looks of it, but I will listen on radio.
Anything worth hearing about the injuries? Does he say Ward, or is it a in the morning and all that?
He said that he should have brought Ward off at half time. Both his calves went, so he's hoping that he's not too bad. But Pearson, he doesn't know. But yeah, like you said, the injuries are just not helping. But again, like, I think we've got, apart from Radoni, really, and I mean, Jackson, he's been unfortunate because I thought he was doing quite well after that Birmingham game where he got torn apart from Dembele. I think he's improved massively, to be fair to him.
He has. It gives some as well, doesn't it? Like energy and stuff, which we've just got, like you say, just nothing, no fizz, or he was just like flat beer when he just it's just so. I just don't know what to think anymore, mate. It's gutting, innit? And lads going down to London, it's massive. I went to Swansea the other week. What a mad thing to do. Honestly, mate, I don't know what they get out. They attend the away fans. It must be about 110 town fans, mate. We'd always take 300-400 minimum, wouldn't you? To even them places now, even your diehards are just like, no, mate. And I don't know, it's cost of living and what have you, but others are just saying now, no, mate, it's Huddersfield Town. It's not on entertainment. It's not worth my while. And it's sad, man, isn't it, to see these people drifting away, especially after, I know the Premier League were a bit ago now, but we'd built up a good, kind of love-in with Huddersfield again, and it's just bit by bit, it's just going, isn't it? Gutted.
Yeah, I think, like I said, and to be fair, I think, like, Nagel and co, they try to do the right things off the pitch, like that fan park, for example. I mean, I've not really got in there that much, but, just these little things that they're trying to get going. But to get people going to them, you need to get a team on the pitch that are winning, that fans are going to go cheer, and then you'll spend merchandise. And I heard about season ticket prices going up. I've always said, if I knew that my team were going to be spending, I'm not saying millions, I'm not expecting us to go and walk the league or anything like that. Even this season, I'd have been happy with a mid-table easy finish. Build a decent team. It's like Preston tonight. They're bringing on that McCann, they're bringing on Hughes, they're bringing on championship standard players, but good enough to see a game out. But that's what they need to get right first. Players on the pitch, the players performing first, the team performing. That's how you're going to get the fans in. And yeah, people might say, you know what, all right, I can see improvements. I can see we're going to invest. I can see we're going to try do something next season. I'll spend the money. But you need to show signs first in a fan park and a light show that I didn't even know it was going on, to be honest. Like, things like that. It's like you try get on the field matters first, right, before off the field matters. And then you'll see an improvement. And I mean, I can pick Cartwright and Edwards from where I sit in Killinderbank. You can tell they're sat there, and you must be thinking, surely we've messed up here. Like, surely they've messed up. But I mean, it's 50. How much do you blame on Moore? And you look at the players he's got. Like I touched on earlier, who would come and manage his team. But then you look at the way he sets up teams, like Josh Koroma as a left wing back. Like, lay off it. He's not a left wing back at all. I don't know. It is very depressing again, and I feel like we were having this conversation last year, at this time last year, really. So yeah, God knows where we turn.
Merry Christmas, mate. Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
When Ward scored, I was like, after the Feed the Ward video that we did a couple of years ago, I thought it could be dragged out, but I can't believe that you just said there that more both his calves had gone. And honestly, it's embarrassing, mate. This in it now, where both his calves gone as other strikers are like kids. And mate, I don't think I need to end this now with that as well. It's it's got a bottle of whiskey and just like that Phil Mitchell meme in it, and that as well. Just hanging over fence with a bottle, but. You'll be there on Saturday, mate, so massive respect. And yeah, no worries. Cheers, Joe. So, yeah, I think we're going to end it there. I think I'm going to go watch Darren Moore's interview now, and then just that'll send me off to sleep. So, thanks for everyone getting involved, and up the town.